What is up, everybody? My name is Alex Seda, and welcome to another episode of Speakerboxx. Today we have a special guest that to me is absolutely inspiring to me. These are the guys that made the records that I first heard that absolutely got me into house music. I mean, if it wasn't for these dudes, I would not get into house music. And if I did, it probably maybe would have come later on, but these guys are the ones that actually did it for me. So it's a real honor to have them here. So we've got that for you. We've also got some super dope plugins that we're going to talk about today that's going to make working in the studio so much fun. And we're also going to talk about actually the coolest and easiest way to record your sessions while you're DJing out live. It is the coolest thing, the most compact thing, and it is absolutely the dopest thing that's out there that's going to make recording your sets anywhere in the world the easiest thing to do. So you know what, guys, if you haven't clicked that subscribe link below, please do that. And let's start today's show because it's going to kick some serious ass, huh? Let's start. What is up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Speakerboxx. Today, we have somebody that to me has been basically like the main reason why I got into house music. One of the first things that I had ever heard was these babies right here. Huh?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So when I was working as an engineer in a studio with George Morel, I didn't know much about house music, and I'm talking this was 2003, and I didn't know much about house music, and I started looking at a bunch of records that George had, and I started seeing records with a geisha head on it. Records with, I don't know what that is, some kind of Aztec-y thing on it. A cat head. And all these kinds of very, very insanely awesome artworks. I started hearing these records, and I heard something that I had never heard in my entire life. I heard these insanely pumping drums. Like I said, unlike anything I ever heard in my life. I looked at the record and I saw this name on it, Chus and Ceballos. And I was blown away. And that's what got me into house music. So today we have a special guest, Pablo Ceballos of Chus and Ceballos. I didn't mean to go on and on like that, bro, but it's just it's an honor to have you here, bro. Yeah. It's a real honor to have him here, guys. Pablo is a wonderful guy, an insane producer, a mastermind, and a real legend. So yeah, Pablo, thanks for being here today, buddy.
Oh, my pleasure. What a great introduction. You can't give me any better compliment that, thanks to you, I was into the house
Pues la
music.
verdad que
That's
sí,
the biggest.
la verdad que
Thank
la
you very
verdad que
much.
sí, bro.
We're here.
It was really like that, you know. And one of the things that I had noticed was so yeah, once I started listening to your records, then I started noticing that you guys had, your stereo productions, you had Stereo Cool, you guys had Iberican, Solar. You had all these different kinds of labels. The stereo stuff was a little bit more of the harder stuff, un poco más, a little bit more on the tribal tip. Stereo Cool, a little bit more housey. Solar, a bit more prog. Iberican, a little bit more, un poco más tribal too, no? Is that what you guys were going with that one?
Yeah, to be honest, it wasn't our intention. We just started the stereo, and we started the stereo being very inspired, to be honest. Part of that inspiration probably was our frustration because we tried to send music that we like to the labels. We started with the Spanish label because we don't have contact with the labels out of Spain, and they're always saying, no, this doesn't sound like the sound that is popular now, and we try to be original. And from that frustration, we get like locked into the studio to submit for hours, days, doing what we really want to do, and that's why the Iberican sound came. And I guess was such a powerful music that we inspired a lot of people. From the very first releases, I remember we only had like 2 or 3 releases. We received like demos from people like Richie Santana, Rob Mirage from New York, from England, and we were receiving so much music that we had to make more labels because we can't like release like a record every 3 days. So we say, okay, so let's try to split a bit the styles to put all this music, all good this music, out because this music needs to be out. So that's why the reason why we create like a stereo. that was more like the original idea of stereo productions. Stereo Cool that was more housey, more deep. And then Iberican was like a side label, maybe a bit more drummy, and then even like Soda that was more like progressive by that time.
Bro, I mean, you guys seemed to have, I'm not gonna say invented the tribal house because that shit was kind of going on for a bit, but you guys, I don't want to say perfected it, but I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that you guys did do that, bro. I'm gonna say that you guys found a way to put together something that not many people were doing, and as you said, you inspired a whole bunch of other people to kind of send you guys your demos, and you guys got so much shit that you didn't know what to do with it. You opened up all these different labels and stuff like that. You guys just I feel like you guys kind of started like a movement at the end because it was like, sorry, you guys did it. And then I'm noticing all these records coming out from Spain. So it was Stereo, and then Dimas's Beat Freak, and then there was a bunch of stuff coming out from there too, and then Penn doing his stuff too, and Aber Ramos and all these kind of things, and then I'm starting to like notice that from Miami, I'm seeing all these records coming from Spain, and in my mind, I'm like, dude, Spain must be on fire. Every motherfucker there must be, every guy there must be like a producer and making sick shit, and you guys must be like forming an army. And just in my mind, I was just like, yo, Spain has got like, must have the sickest scene. And then I came to find out that things were a little different, you know, but
yeah, that's what the people think. I say, man, Spain must have like an amazing scenes. You guys are coming out with all this music. Listen, Alex, we couldn't play this music in Spanish clubs. The Spanish club were playing a totally different style than this one, and it's funny, right? And but against, I'm back to the inspiration thing. You know, you get inspired, and then people get inspired, and we all get inspired with each other, and that's a beautiful thing. That's music, actually.
Absolutely, bro.
And to make a point, we didn't invent like tribal music. I mean, tribal music came from from Africa, and is like the real drums, you know. And in different parts of house music and electronic music, even in techno, they haven't taken that like tribal, a root of the African and the Cuban music, and blended with electronic sound. So no, we didn't invite in how do you say, we when the first one doing tribal music. But I have to say that we did our original blend, because Chus and me, when we joined forces, we came from different backgrounds. Chus was more like into like house and soulful, and I was more into like prog and techno. But both of us like drums. Both of us love drums, to be honest, and that like ethnic flavor. So that was like the common join that put everything together. That was like the bedrock of our music. And then with that bedrock of drums, sometimes we are more housey, sometimes we're more prog, sometimes we're more techno, and that blend of different styles, it was beautiful and very unique.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys have that slogan where it's like from house to techno, but the drums are always there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
and yeah, man, and you know what? I had read that because I saw the bio that you guys had on Liana on the thing, yeah. And I read that, I'm like, but you know what, bro? That actually. That basically sums you guys up right now, because obviously throughout time we evolve, our sound evolves a bit, but at the end of the day, the core is the percussions. Whether it is you guys are shifting more on the DJ set on the houseier side, and then or it goes more towards techno, there's still kind of that groove and that rhythm and stuff that's kind of always there. That to me is the fundamental of your guys' sound, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But bro, I mean the records that I was getting from you guys that I first heard, Echoes from the Room, Low Frequencies, In Stereo, even Iberican sounds, and it was hearing sounds, bro, that you wonder where these guys pull this shit from. You know what I'm saying? that was always my main thing, because there even okay, with your music, I feel like a lot of the records that you guys have to me are timeless, where you can't really tell when that shit was. Man, maybe with the mastering and something like that, maybe you could tell it's a little older than this one, for instance. But a lot of them, I think, have maintained that kind of integrity. And I think that because I make records, bro, and if I'm left in a position where I'm listening and I'm like, how the fuck did he do that? How did he get that sound? Where did he get that shit from? Like, that to me is the moment where, yeah, you blew my mind. You know what I'm saying? And that's the kind of stuff that I was hearing with a lot of your records, bro. That's why I guess I felt drawn to you guys. And then it was the records were also going in different kinds of tones. So you had harder stuff, then you had stuff that went a little bit more proggy stuff. Like I mean, to me, some of your older records that to me are classics. Una Historia de Amor, a phenomenal record that I'll play it every now and then, you know.
Yeah.
Wonderful record, bro. The Haunting Me that you guys did for Yoshitoshi, another phenomenal record. I like the remix you guys did for Deep Dish for Say Hello, another dope record, bro. Another one to me is Changing Shapes that you guys did a Francesco Farfa.
Francesco
Bro,
Farfa, yeah, I remember that. Very nice
very,
record.
very, 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 very nice record, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I like the fact that you guys, yeah, can you know, you go all over the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? But let me ask you this: the first record that you and Chus did together, juntos, was what record?
Yeah. I think that the first record we did together, the first tribal record we did together, I think was Africa. And before that, we did That Feeling. That Feeling was recorded in the studio. Um, and El Amor that we did with Joeski, that was one of the first records we did in the studio too.
And what year was this?
This was 2000. 2000. It was 2000.
2000. I mean, in 2000, you guys did That Feeling.
The thing of That Feeling that was edited late, but that Feeling was made a year and a half before it was edited. It was done.
I mean, I have that on vinyl.
We sent it to David Morales.
Got this one too.
Yeah, that was the
That's the
remixes.
remixes. Yeah, I got that too. I got the other one in there, but I can't go digging through the records. But I have it. It's a purple vinyl with the I can't say right, Deponente mix with the guitarrita part.
Yeah,
Sick
yeah,
record.
with the guitar.
So you guys, you did that record back in 2000, and it took a while to get the editing shit done?
Like 2000, 2001, yeah. The thing is that we sent it to David Morales, and David Morales loved the record, and he was playing it for so long, and he was, wait, guys, I'm going to release it. Wait, guys, I'm going to release it. And then we were waiting so long for him, and finally, because he didn't release it, we decided to start moving other cars, you know. So we sent it to Simon from Defected, and he loved the record. And then he released it. I mean, Defected has like a big full schedule of releases. So since we signed the record, it took still like 4 months to go out the record. So That Feeling was one of the first ones. Just Chus and me.
Chus and you, and your first record goes on Defected, huh?
Yeah, and Africa went to Fluencer, that it was like a sub-label of. Not, to be honest, it was funny, Alex, how two guys being so different, we like click so much right away. Because the easiest thing when you get to the very different people in personalities and style is that you're on a class. You're not going to find like the medium point. But
you guys found it, bro.
We were so hungry, Alex. We were so hungry, and we have so much passion. I mean, we're so passionate. We're still passionate that we were like a fire to put some gasoline on and explode. Right? That's what it was. And before we met, we have experience, right? I was making music for a few years, and I used to have an old partner, David Castellano. That he's an amazing guy. I was doing more like techie stuff, progressive stuff with him. With the alias of Technova, I did that when I was like 19 or something like that. It was our first thing. And Chus has a different partner, and he has some equipment too. So we weren't new. That was the thing. We could come up with those great records because we weren't new. We were like very hungry. We were so passionate, and we had some experience.
Well, you guys obviously did the right thing, because whatever formula you guys made, you found something that clicked. And I've had the pleasure of hanging out with you guys both, and you, and you both have your different personalities, but at the end of the day, you guys find a means to connect like brothers, bro. You know what I'm saying? So
yes.
So yeah. You guys found a very, very dynamite mix. And I've seen that, because I know you both, I see where every person has their strengths. Sabes, Chus is good at what he does, and you're good at what you do. Y ya con eso, everything together, you...
Yeah. Exactly. It's a smart thing, like in every teamwork, to see what is your strength, and whatever is your strength, you define it, and you try to do as much as you can on your strength.
Yes, absolutely, bro.
It's a very easy rule. It's like a band. It's Lately I say that is when you click with somebody, you do things that is impossible to be alone, and it looks like electronic musicians and artists is like a lonely thing. But if you analyze one of the best records of that could be your classics or the classic of someone else, most of the time, the majority of the time, is the work of many of some more than one person. So it's a good way to see this as a band. As a band. In a band, one play the bass, one play the drums, and one is a singer. Why? Because the guy with the bass is good with the bass, the guy with the drums is good with the drums, and the singer is a great singer. Has the charisma.
Yes.
So to make electronic music is something very complex, especially at the beginning. So I invite the people that don't find a way to finish records. You collaborate. Do people with someone. But the best is to be physically with someone. When you tell me all these records that you like and were inspiring to you, like Low Frequencies, Echoes from the Ruma, we work with someone else in the studio. I mean, in Echoes from the Ruma, we were with the singer. That we did co computers, that he came to Madrid, he was traveling, and we came to the studio and he did vocals. There was like a jam session, and we're like jamming, and there is like chemistry together. You really get into the vortex, in the creative vortex, and you do really amazing things. Low Frequencies was the record that we did with Richard Santana, that we have a lot of self amazed for each other with the work we were doing, and we were in his studio, and he did the vocals, and we have so much fun that afternoon. And from that fun and that passion came good things.
Cool, dude. Well, there you have it, dude. I mean, and then, so now over the years, we've you guys have evolved. The productions have they've I guess, I mean, obviously they through time, we evolve, we change the way that we produce. We want to experiment with different things. And you guys kind of did that too. I mean, the records became a little less not, I'm not gonna say tribally, but yes, they did. But so like I said, at the end they still maintained your sound. But when did you guys kind of start noticing, okay, yeah, you wanted to maybe start evolving to something else, or did it just happen by itself, or did you guys make a decision on this? How did that kind of come about?
No, I mean, you don't make decisions. I mean, I think it's a natural in every single producer. No, you start with something, you get inspired, and then you are, when things happen like it happened for us, you are a victim of your success. So tribal music was so popular, and everybody was doing the same thing, that people got tired of tribal music, and it was like not new anymore, and it was like the same formula over and over. And what happened was tribal was so popular that people get fed up with it, and then the electro came in, and the minimal came in, and the tribal like crashed. And after it crashed, to be honest, that was one of the worst moments of our career, because we were like lost. I mean, what are we going to do now? I mean, nobody's coming with good tribal music anymore. We didn't come up with new tribal music anymore. And the new music, electro, is totally the opposite of what we like. It's not organic. It's more like, it's not that organic. It's more like most aggressive. We don't like aggressive. We like melodies. But that's life. I mean, we humans are nature. You see, nature evolves like in every second. We change in every second. After this conversation, you change and I change with this conversation. So music is the same. You can't be stuck on something.
Yeah.
And it's the beauty too. You need to evolve. You need to surprise yourself. You need to inspire yourself. And the way to inspire yourself is doing new stuff that for some people maybe it's gonna be, oh, I like the old stuff, but you can't live in the past. You can't. You have to live in the present.
You need to evolve, and at the end of the day, it makes you a better musician.
Exactly. Yeah. And as soon as the artist is enjoying what he does and he's having fun, that's totally fine. He's different, blessed.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. I mean, what you guys also do is come on.
No, as soon as you like as an artist, what you're doing is totally fine. Yeah.
I mean, you guys have also, I mean, always maintained a very Latino approach to your tracks, bro. Sabes? So these are things at the end that are awesome to me. Some of the last gigs that I was doing in Bali a bunch was, they wanted sets of Latino house. So, claro, with the compilations that you guys did, I think it was for the ADE or one of these where you had like two or three, the Calle, one of them. Yeah. And it was in that paquete. And you guys have just like also también have always continued to release these very Latino sounding records that are all fucking dope, bro. So I know
You see myself, I look like California boy now with my long hair and blonde, man. Fuck, I'm Spanish, soy español, and we have the Latin music
sí, sí,
as a
sí.
root, and it's beautiful. And not only the Latin music, I mean, as I was telling you before, it's not just Latin. As Chus and me, we love both, like like African music and ethnic music and Afro-Cuban music. So, I mean, the drums are the core of the dance music. Well, that's what is dance music. It's music that you have to dance, and you dance because of the drums.
And how
then
specifically?
So, it has to be music for your feet and for your soul. And the feet is the drums.
Sí. Coño. Mira, give me 1 second. Voy a hacer un pausa, ¿vale? I just want to check something. Okay. Make sure everything is okay. De vez en cuando, tío, este programa quiere ser a little odd. So yeah, everything is okay. I mean, I use the OBS, the one that everybody uses to stream, but I don't use it to stream. I use it to record. Vale, y luego yo meto todo en mi editing software and I edit all this shit together. Vale, a ver. Done. Okay. Vale, sí. Okay. All right. Okay. Mira, Pablo, I wanted to talk to you, bro, about the tutorials that you guys have been doing. So you guys have been doing tutorials on basically Instagram, the words where you guys have been doing it, and then it goes on YouTube as well. So those tutorials to me have been super helpful. Now I'm on my bus, on my group channels, like basically when I start my template set, when Ableton opens, one of my channels is parallel compression. So that to me is something that I've been using a bit, bro. That was one way that I've been using to get my kick sounding pretty tough. People, if you haven't seen this tutorial, I recommend that you go online to YouTube, and they can find it by putting parallel compression stereo productions. I think that should be enough, and it should show up.
I think so. Yeah.
So if you guys want to learn a very, very amazingly awesome way how to get your kick drum to sound a lot chunkier, listen to Pablo. He lays it down, and he gives you something very, very helpful and insightful. So that's something that I've been using. I've been finding it very, very helpful, bro. Another way that somebody told me to get a kick drum sounding chunky is a program called a Kick Tweaker. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, Kick Tweaker is amazing. Actually, lately I'm doing a combination of many things, and I discovered a Kick Tweaker that is amazing. Nobody does what is inside, but definitely some parallel compression too, and some distortion for sure. So what I'm doing lately, I mean, Kick Tweaker is a big part of how to get like a kick drum, but still, when you do the parallel compression, it still has something. So I hear from many engineers over the years that you get better results when you do a little bit with a few plugins than when you do a lot with only one plugin. So you get like a better sound when you do like a little bit with tweaker, a little bit with parallel compression, a little bit with an EQ, a little bit with this, and that a little bit.
Would you recommend that I do that? Would you recommend that maybe I should put a little bit of the kick of the parallel compression you explained, and then maybe try a little bit of the kick tweaker on top of that, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I always say you should have like a 4 or 5 different tools that you know how to use them. And then every case is different. In some cases you don't need like a massive kick drum, or in some cases your kick drum must be like very dry and not so low end, so you're going to do parallel compression and going to like too big. So I mean, depends. You have to use your ears, but you definitely should have like 3 or 4 like tools that you know how to use them, and use your ears to use them right. That's the key of the success for a producer. Like, know your tools, like spend hours, know your tools, and when you find a tool that you know that you like it, use it as much as you can, so you finally very, very, very well. And that's the key to get a good sound, to know very, very well your tools.
Okay, wicked, bro. Mira, I just finished a record that to me sounded good. I said it to a friend of mine just to get a second set of ears, and he mentioned something to me that bro, apparently my kick and my bass was kind of phasing out. And then, bro, I don't know what happened. I was looking through my phone, and then I saw once again the tutorial you did on kick and bass, and
Yeah.
how important that is.
And in that tutorial, I leave many things behind because it was something like I did for Instagram. I definitely have a lot of like people telling me that I should just keep going doing on YouTube, but it's always the same thing, Alex. I mean, my time is priceless, and I like to spend my time like like creating and looking for music. But it's something that I'm sure I will do like more in the future, like when things go a bit slower with some
Mira,
traveling.
Pablo,
I
something I can
definitely.
tell you though, bro, is that I can understand that it's a pain in the ass. Vale, I can understand que sabe que obviously, claro, you're busy, you have shit you need to do too. But I can tell you that when you have taken the time to do it, it's been well appreciated.
No, it is, it is.
Sabes?
And
It
definitely
really has
a
been.
lot of producers and very
Mira,
good
you know
people.
what?
Definitely.
Another one that convinced me to get it, and I got it the same day, was the one that you did on the Isotope RX7.
Uh-huh.
That
Yeah, that's a
RX7
great.
plugin is fucking amazing, huh? That plugin
It's
is
amazing.
awesome. It's bro. Mira, you know what? To be honest with you, I use it on this. So I also use it on this to help kind of erase some kind of shitty background noise, como ambiente sounds in the background.
Yes. Especially for voiceovers, it's
Yeah,
amazing. You can like clean the background noise with the voiceover. Even these noises that you're having with this kick with the microphone, you can like clean them out. Even you have a microphone here and the rushes that you have moving in your cell, you can clean it. The wind, you can clean the wind. It's crazy how you can do. And then you have this like a balance that you can. I mean, it's not perfection, but
it's
you can
close
take it.
enough, bro.
It's close enough to be useful.
Claro.
Actually, we'll have to do a remix, and we resave the drums, and the drums have the a bass. The same sampling have the drums, and they have the bass and have a vocal. And we didn't want to separate the drums, the bass, and the vocals, but we did is like the plugin says, like rebalance. So we thought that the drums were more interesting, so we give more volume to the drums. We we put less volume to the vocal, less volume to the bass, and it worked way better than before.
Really.
That area, because you like sound design, and you care about your sound and clean your samplings or your voiceover, it's amazing. And people is not familiar because these days everybody is like, okay, I use Ableton Live, I use Logic, I use Logic, but you need to be just close to one single software. I mean, there is other softwares that are amazing, like RX7.
Yeah, guys, if you guys don't know this plugin that we're talking about, this is a plugin that's been designed by Isotope. It's called the RX7 Audio Editor, and it's truly astounding of what it can do. It can't do it 100%, but it comes pretty damn close. It can help turn a track instrumental. It can help create an acapella. It can help remove, like Pablo was saying, maybe some shitty background sounds, the rustling of a shirt, something that just shouldn't be in the mix. It does a pretty good job with getting it out. So if you guys don't
Yes.
have it, we highly recommend it. And Pablo actually gives you guys a really cool introduction on how the plugin works and its features that it does. You can check that out on their IGTV, if I remember correctly. That's on your
Yeah,
Instagram.
yeah, it is there.
Yeah. Mira, Pablo, I want to ask you this, bro, because I mean, like I said, once again, to me, the way the tracks that you guys were doing always blew my mind, bro. So my question to you is, what's your creative process, bro? I mean, has it changed over the years? Do you still kind of work the same way? Do you do it how we kind of all do it at the end of the day? Do you start with a loop, keep it going? Do you start with a
So,
melody first? Like, how do you go about it?
sadly, I'm very unorganized person, and I learned with the years to be a bit more organized. And be that unorganized was a bad thing and a good thing. A bad thing is that it takes me time to make music because I'm not organized. So I don't know what is everything. I don't know what is this, what is that, what is this. But the good thing is that you always come with something new because you are not you are not organized. But over the years we learn a few things. It's very important for dance music, the kick and the bass. That's the core of dance music. So if you start with a bunch with a good loop or good like drums, that are groovy and they inspire you, and then you figure out like a good kick and a good bass. When you have that, you have the core of the song. And then with that core of the song, for us, it's easier to work over the bass and the kick and the drums with some melodies, so because happened to us the opposite. Happened to us that some days are you're composing and playing my scenes or just looking for some melodies, and you find like a melody, and then when you find when you find the melodic parts, it's more difficult to adapt and find the drums and find the kick. I mean, at the end, this is dance music. So the way we do is to start with something that inspires us, and try to keep it as simple as possible. That's something that I always tell to the people that ask me. If you analyze you tell me, Alex, listen, tell me one of your 20 favorite records. I'm sure the 95% of them, they're very simple. They're so simple that probably there are 8 tracks, or the main elements are like 8, only just 8 tracks, and then the rest could be like a little bit of that. But the main core elements are like 8 tracks. So it's very important to write your music to keep it simple. And don't add, because when you add, it gets messy, it gets complicated, and you lose your inspiration. The challenge is keep it simple. And if you are using you have a loop, you have a bass, you have a melody. And if it's not good enough, and instead of trying to add one more element, just use it. Say bye-bye to that element and try a new one. Because it's very important to keep it simple.
Sure. And you know what, Mira, you mentioned simple, and I think a very, very good example out of that is simple but extremely effective is the record that you did with con Dennis Cruz, The Sun. A record that bro, like it sounds like there's not many elements, but yet there is, and it sounds like it's simple, but at the end it complicates.
Behind it. I think the key of that track is
cosas muy sutiles, very subtle little cositas that you guys throw.
The drums are amazing, and Chus is a magnificent producer for that. He's a freak of the drums and this little element here and there.
So that's Chus, no, with those little cositas, those little extra.
I'm more like into more the sound, the melody, the design, the sound, but the drums he always like to the program the drums here, these little chains here, these little chains there. And he's amazing. And yeah, so that record is I think is one of the best records we did in the last 5 years. It's really like special. It really touch you.
Bro, it's
I think it's
phenomenal record, bro.
The vocal and then the arpeggios behind are like very hypnotic, and it's a story. That's what it is.
That record to me is phenomenal, bro. And the new one that I think you guys crush it with, bro, is the All I Want. Tremendo. Wonderful record, bro. And D Montero's mix fucking crushed it, bro.
Yeah. We want to do new remixes for All I Want. Obviously, it's one of our main records in the last years. I mean, we love the vocal of Astrid. We were very proud of that record. And we were thinking who can remix it. We think right away in Di Montero. I think Di Montero is doing a great job. He moved to Bali. He said bye to the UK. He decided to go in that musical direction that he always loved, and organic and drums. And he's really like very picky of what he's putting out, what kind of mixes he's doing. And so it was the perfect choice for the record, and there it is. He's making an amazing job with the record. Very happy with how
the vocal fit his version of the track like perfectly, bro. He really killed it. I mean, so back in the days though, when you guys started making tracks, I mean, you guys were running what, like one of the first versions of Logic or something like that?
Listen, that was like really a challenge to make music back in the day, because today you have everything in your computer. Back in the day there was almost no computers. Back in the day we were running Cubase on a PC, and it wasn't even audio at the beginning. And the records that we did was just with the sampler. We were running the samples through a sampler with an Akai sampler. And there was no audio in the computer, so everything was MIDI. So we had to send all the MIDI to the synthesizers, all the MIDI to the sampler, and then everything come analog to the mixer, and if it's were on the mixer or on the, I mean, it was like making music back in the day, like the bands used to make record records, you know. And then, but when I started with Chus, I think that was the first time we were using Cubase audio. That it was working so bad, by the way, it has so many crashes and buggies, and it was like doing like some here and there till they fix it. But thanks to that, to Cubase audio, we can put finally loops, you know, like drum loops in our music, and that was like a beginning and after in our productions, because with the sampler you were like very very limited. With the sampler, you were very limited, especially working with organic like loops, or we were recording a lot of like live drums in our studio, and we do a lot of live recordings back in the day. People became lazy because today they have all like sound libraries, but back in the day you have to do your own sound libraries. So we have this amazing drummer that is Paquito Baeza, that he's still, you can find him online like everywhere. He's a teacher. He teaches you like percussion, and he used to come once every couple of months to the studio with the massive congas, like five congas. They were so big, we were like reaching everything in the studio, put the microphones and do like a jam session. Sometimes we were playing like tracks we were working on, like actually That Feeling was one of the tracks that he played on top, and then some parts we take it for the track, some parts we did take it from another track, some part we did like a drum version of That Feeling. And yeah, so we did a lot of like acoustic recordings back in the day. And that was the process. Like to be together in the studio, there was no internet. It was 20 years ago.
Yeah, there was no splice. There was no loop cloud. There was none of that shit.
There was no internet. But the good thing is there were no distractions. That's the good thing. You were really into the creative vortex because there was no distraction. Claro. You didn't have much equipment because you can't afford. I mean, we all become from humble families, so we don't have like too much equipment, but that limitation keeps you creative. No, I'm a spoiler. I have everything in my studio.
No. It teaches you to use all that gear you have to its fullest potential.
Yeah, so I think you remember that question. How did you get that sound when I started that record? So you get that sound from knowing very well your tool. I remember back in the day, I do the 80% of the sounds with this Innovation Supernova on rack I have
So that's what you were using, Innovation Supernova.
You listen to the synth, and people were saying, "Fuck, Pablo, when you tell me you were using the scene, I bought it, but I don't get any special from that scene." I mean, a scene is like a white paper. You need to paint it, you know. You need to know very well the scene, like what can you do with it, how can you tweak it, and play not like an instrument, because a scene is an instrument. Obviously, it's an instrument, but in the same way that you in a guitar, you're playing the guitar, and you see guitarists doing all this movement with the fingers, with the pitch, with the bending, with the doing arpeggios, doing like with the acoustic guitar, even playing like percussion. So things get interesting in a synth when you tweak and when you make it organic, you know, with the LFOs, or doing it like manually, moving this parameter, and then what it gets interesting. If not, like you know, a synth or a melody is like has no life. You need to make it like
bro. You can't just use a preset and expect that one preset to give you everything.
No, I mean, I use many
No, pero you preset, but then you move it, and then it changes.
Move it. Yeah, and then you change it. You move the preset. Yeah, that's a way to get your production interesting with sounds.
Yeah.
I need to move. Need to have like motion.
So basically, the core setup though of like stereo, 2003 to 2004 was basically what a sampler, a supernova, and then
no, we have equipment. I mean, because I just have equipment and I have equipment. It was a sampler, like a sampler.
And a Kai, the MPC 2000.
No, it was a rack. I think it was like an S1200 or something.
Con el floppy.
Yeah, con el floppy with the floppy disk, and we have everything on floppies and everything. And then it was the Supernova, and I remember I have a small synth from. I will have a few synths from Cork. We have a big one that has like very nice sounds, and then we have a small one that has like a bar here. I don't remember the name, but we came quite a few good sounds from that. And we still have the scene. I still have the overhead Matrix mill, Matrix 1000.
Really?
That was analog, and Dimas Deformation like give us. Dimas was my mentor. Deformation was the guy that, you know, like I said, it was the guy that put us together.
Really?
And yeah, and I used to go to his studio, and I was being nice to him. Dimas, are you using this thing? "Ah, tío, no." And no, I'm gonna give it to you tomorrow. And then I have it in my studio for 3 months. So yeah, it was a very like it was a fun time. It was a fun time.
Uh-huh.
It's a fun time, but being positive, not being always saying that the past was always better. I mean, I like to know the lessons about the past. What was in the past that you can use in the present. That's the way you used to to use the past, not like down in the past.
Uh-huh.
And the recommendation I give to the producers, what I learned from the past, is that today you are spoiled with everything. And that spoiledness, I don't know if you can say spoiledness in English, but that to be too spoiled is limiting your creativity. That you go to loop cloud and you have a million samples. That I go to my studio and I have like 20 things I get lost. And then I have to my song library, I have like a million things. And then everything with templates and MIDI samplers and even like chords progression already done. I mean, uh, that overflow of too many information to get you confused.
Correct. I agree as well.
To be honest, when I read interviews, because I think that reading interviews is something very good from the people that you like, of people that I appreciate their sound. Most of them they say the same. They say, listen, it's very important, like to know very well what you're using. And if you're using 200 things, it's impossible you're going to know well. It's better like to limit yourself to 5 or 6 pieces of hardware or software, plugins, whatever you want, and really know them, really know how to work inside. What sound can you get out of them? And that's where the good results comes when you put your energy in the creations and in energy in taking out something from a sound from a plugin that you know very, 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 very well. And then the other lesson, a part of to limit yourself is to be inspired. Is very important to be quiet, Alex. And it's something that actually I learned in this quarantine, because in this quarantine I'm being like inspiring lately, and I said, why I'm inspired? Because it's quiet. I mean, I'm almost nothing on social networks. Probably didn't see me on social networks this week, and this is the best thing that happened to me on my creative process in the last years. And be quiet, because when you are in the studio and you have your WhatsApp and you have your Instagram and have to do a post and your phone is ringing and you have a message and you have an email, and you don't get into your creative vortex. You need to get into a creative vortex. And it's almost impossible when you have a lot of noise and distractions around
I
you.
agree.
So it's important to say to your wife or your girlfriend, bye-bye, I see you in 4 hours. Say to your partner or to your business, it's okay you don't answer an email in 4 hours. Nobody's going to get mad. So it's good to disconnect from reality and
Absolutely, bro. I
into,
agree.
get into yourself. I mean, to your vortex. I mean, it's very important to get into yourself because you are the one making the music.
She,
Forget
she,
about
she,
the
she.
world. Get into yourself.
Mira,
Dream.
a lot of people have.
Enjoy, have fun. I mean, stand into your studio, dance with your own music. I mean, free yourself.
Claro.
I mean, it's too much noise out there these days. Too much. And in the past, we have no phone, we have nothing. We're in the studio with no distraction, no internet, no nothing. And you were really into the track, and you're working in a track like obsessively for 15 hours. That's fine. That's something that happened to in many people that is making music or art. You get into a vortex that you're not even sleeping because you don't even need to sleep because you are like inspired. That's I'm going to have an hour, and now I'm going to make coffee. I'll do half an hour, and then I'm going to do this. I'm going to answer emails. I'm going to see my WhatsApp. I'm going to see.
No,
That's it.
there's no way you can allow your brain to focus, bro.
No, you're going to do something. Yeah, it's going to be something good. Oh, yeah, okay. It's going to be something exceptional. No.
She.
I'm telling you, like,
No, I agree. I mean, it's good to hear that out of something so shitty like this whole situation has been, that that you've found a way to, bro, to disconnect your mind, reestablish things. I mean, have you found? I mean, we've all had a lot of extra time. Have you been finding yourself producing a lot? Have you been feeling creative, or?
I'm feeling like creative. I was feeling more like looking for new things that inspire me because I was at the point that we're having so many gigs, so much travels that I was listening to tracks and nothing was really touching me. And this quarantine, I spent time to like dig because to find inspiring music, you really need to dig you need to really like go out of, you know, the top charts and go out the main top stages and really like investigate and follow your heart and what I like this, I like that, and sometimes it's not even like dance music. Sometimes it could be like folk or music from your 80s or the 90s, and get inspired, and that inspiration go to in the studio and try to do something good.
Have you found that, bro? Have you found what you were
I
looking
found
for?
that, yeah. I found that,
That's
yeah, I
that's
found that.
amazing, bro. Well, then I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to hear whatever that is, bro. Sorry, you guys have been busy though with the label. I receive your promos on a regular basis, so you guys have a lot of great stuff. Um,
Mhm.
and the great thing at the end of the day that I love about the label, bro, and even since day one, is consistency.
Yeah.
Sabes, basically, in all fairness, I always know the record is going to be good. It's just a question of can I play that in my set or not.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
correct.
Pero at the end of the day,
Yeah.
the tracks are always dope. And at the end of the day, most of them I can play. There might be one that
Yeah.
gets a little bit more dark or school techno that maybe I
Uh,
can't play. Pero that doesn't mean that a bunch of other people can't, you know?
I mean, the key is to work hard, to be honest. Is to work hard. You want to have a label and be like touring and still have time to produce, you need to work very hard. And from hard work comes good things.
She.
I think that Picasso was the one saying, you never know when inspiration is gonna come, but it better catch you when you're working.
That's awesome.
So hard work is part of the inspiration and is part of the creativity and it's part of doing put out good things and sacrifice your time for this passion and that's what I've been doing like crazy for 20
Yeah, you
years.
have been, bro. Sabes, you and
Yeah.
Chus,
I,
like I said, I know both you guys. You guys work very very hard. Fucking your partner Chus is crazy, bro. He's very
exactly.
very focused. He knows exactly what he wants. He knows how he wants it to look, and that's great, bro. To be honest with you, I'm not like that. I wish I was. It's one of those things where maybe I wish that I had a partner who would worry
One
about that
second.
shit.
Listen, I never found anybody, no, not anybody in the industry in music. I never find anybody in this planet that work as hard as my partner. Seriously. He's like a robot. He's like a computer, man. He's like wake up and in a second he's answering emails. I can't do that, you
He's
know.
a bald machine,
I need
bro.
like a release. I need like a break from the work to get like, you know, into my I was saying before like my birth is my inspiration. I mean, everyone's work different. That's his way. And he sound amazing to be honest. I can't expect a better partner than that in terms of like hours because he's a maniac.
Yeah.
And a big part of the success and why we are like you saying so consistent is the work. I mean, we just released like our 10th anniversary release, and we were getting so many good remixes that we decided to put the number, scary number of 80 different remixes in 4 different volumes that finally we split in different styles because probably was the best way to like divide it to make it more like logical. Imagine how much work has been in this quarantine. That was our main goal in the first part of the quarantine to put out a compilation because we're a small group of people. Stereo is not that many people, right? It's like a you know it's like a small house to put together like a compilation of 80 tracks. You know how much logistic, how much work. I mean, how much like you know brainstorming behind is behind that project. So it's a lot of passions and it's a lot of hours. But then they make us proud when we see like a compilation like that and so many good tracks and you know people like playing them and getting great reviews. Finally, that's what we want. That's what we're fighting for.
20 years. Stereo
Yeah,
Productions.
it's crazy.
20
20
years,
years.
bro. That's phenomenal, man. You guys I'm sure have seen a lot in those 20 years, you know. I'm sure you
Oh,
guys had a lot of really good things lined up. I mean, you guys have been kicking ass with every year you guys do a Japanese tour. You guys are always at BPM. You guys are always jamming in New York. Sorry, you guys all have always basically had your calendar full. And then now, of course, this shit happens. So now, of course, everybody's had to kind of take a back seat. But I know that things are gonna start up again, and when they do, you guys will be doing what you guys always do best, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great.
And at the end of the day, bro, everybody's gonna come back bigger and stronger and ready to go.
Yeah.
Sabes? So I'm really looking forward to whatever new stuff you guys have, man. I love getting the promos. And I want to thank you so much, bro, for doing what you've done, making those tunes, because if not, I wouldn't know shit about house music. I wouldn't have done what I've done in my life, and this conversation wouldn't be happening right now at this very moment. So
Thank you, Alex.
yeah, Pablo, muchas gracias, bro. Thanks you so much. Let me ask you one last little final thing, bro. If there
Uh-huh.
is a plugin that you would recommend to the young producers out there, bro, whether it's a synth plugin, whether it's something that's a must have, you recommend
I
a
mean, there
must
is.
have?
The music production is a complex process. I mean, there is so many things involved: compression, EQ, distortion, delay. I mean, it's difficult to say only one, but at the end, everything comes of what I said before. It's more important is to know the tool. Don't get crazy with 15 EQs and 200 scenes. You're going to get better work when you know very well your EQ or your compression. I always say that EQ is the most important thing process in the studio.
Your recommendation
Wait
for EQ, if I've seen from the tutorials, you like to use a FabFilter Q3, correct?
Yeah, it depends of what. I mean, depends of what. When it is like this, like tweaking, very precise, and or I need to cut a lot the bass frequencies because the Q3 have even like 72 dB, something
Yeah,
crazy.
it
Or
slopes a lot more
uh,
than, for instance, the Ableton one
is
does.
is very powerful. It's the most powerful of all. And then they have like this interface that is very visual and it gives you a lot of information, so it's great. So for like I would say like surgery stuff, I use the Q. Um, for the musicality of for the mojo, I love the Pultec EQ from Universal Audio. The Pultec,
Okay.
I love it for the kicks. You always get like that like bottom bass that is very thick, and only to put the plugin in, you get like certain like thickness out of it without touching anything, just the mojo of the plugin.
Uh-huh.
So for the mojo, the Pultec EQ, especially you do the Pultec trick that you do at the same time, like gain and reduction, because what it does is do like a little like a mountain and a valley.
Uh-huh.
So maybe it's speaking at 70, but then I mean, if you Google in a Pultec trick, you will find how to do it,
Uh-huh.
and it really in the kicks and the bass, it really works because you just like emphasizing the important frequencies and get the frequencies that are going to make everything messy out
But
of that.
The Pultec is a compressor, correct?
No, the Pultec is an
Is an
EQ.
EQ.
It's like an old school EQ that you see the controls and you say, what is this from? I mean, this is from the 50s because it's from the 50s. So you're used to like the Q3 and you go to a Pultec and you see this like dinosaur like
All
controlling on the stage.
knobs. Yeah.
The Pultec is not about it's all about the sound
Yeah,
of
there's
it.
no visual
It's very
interface.
simple.
It's how it
But you need to
sounds.
listen to it, like put it, move it, and then listen to it, and you're going to see that it sounds good.
Uh-huh.
And that's why after 50 years, people are still using it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then one EQ, because in EQ is as important sometimes to get some color. But for me, one of the most important features of in EQ is when I put the EQ and I don't hear the EQ. Because every EQ has artifacts, all of them.
Yes.
All the EQs are going to transfer your sound. And the only EQ that I put on, and seriously, I don't know when it's on or off,
Is
is an EQ that is very, very not glamorous at all because the interface is so small.
uh-huh.
It's Massenburg EQ. Massenburg is only on UAD or Pro Tools. Massenburg.
Massenburg.
Yeah, and you see the interface and it's so small. The first time you see what happened with the interface, they make it bigger.
Yeah.
Doesn't get bigger.
Uh-huh.
And I say, so how I'm going to tweak the sound if I don't? You see, like the graphics so small. You know what? I'm sure that what Massenburg is saying to you, you stupid. Don't look at the graphics. Use your ears. Tweak. because you are listening to it, not because you are watching it.
Yeah. Okay, so
This EQ can do the cleanest like low cuts, especially for mastering. You put a low cut in this EQ, and it's so clean that you don't even realize that what is acting. And actually, I discovered thanks to Weba. Weba did like 2 or 3 years ago, did a tutorial with UAD plugins about how he made a track of that he released on drum code, and he was using this EQ all over the place. And I said, let me listen to the EQ. But and this EQ is so good because you can listen to it. So if you are like playing even with the you have the Q3 the Q3 EQ, the far filter, and you change the algorithms, you make like a very like an EQ that you are moving, like you are cutting the bass, you are cutting the mids, you're cutting the highs, and then you just change the algorithms that is in the EQ. You have linear, you have zero latency, and you have something linear phase, zero latency, and there is one like it's in the middle of zero latency and linear phase. I don't remember the name. Anyway, you change the algorithms and you see that the sounds change, because even the Q3 that everybody say, because it's an amazing EQ, you change the algorithms and you see that it's changing the sound.
yes.
So you should use a different EQ for different like jobs, you know. You're doing mastering, you need like a clean EQ. I use the Massenburg. I love my kick. My kick is such an important piece of my music. I don't want anything that is going to make any artifacts. I use my Massenburg EQ. I need to do like a massive correction on my kick. I need to take out all the low, like a lot, because it's getting a lot of like sub bass, and I need to like rise a lot of like the 70s. I need to cut all the highs. That's a lot of surgery. So I use the far filter.
Fab filter.
So depends on what I'm using, and then there is other EQs that I love to use in vocals because it really opened the vocals. The Moog EQ, MAAG EQ from Plugin Alliance. Moog, MAAG.
Moog.
Moog EQ. So this Moog EQ has like a band that is called air band. So this air band can make that your vocal go right up front, or even a scene when you have a scene that is not like really. Write it down.
Where the fuck is my pen at, dude?
Yeah. MAAG.
Yeah. And Plugin Alliance.
I think there is a Q2 and Q5 of Plugin Alliance. And the most important thing with this EQ is like it's called the air band. It works on the 10, 20, or 40 kilohertz, and then you do the gain, and you see how, especially with vocals, try your vocal, with the vocal you're recording today, you open the air band, and you see that it sounds brighter, and it brings bright. It gives like a lot of presence to the vocals, but not only the vocals, you have like a lead scene that for you need to be really at the front. And maybe it sounds a bit moody. You sometimes you use this EQ in the air band, and really like brings the thing like
brings it forward. Yeah. That's very interesting, bro.
And to actually, I was the next tutorial that I want to do. I was thinking to do about distortion and saturation, because for me
it's funny that you said that, because my next question to you was, what would you recommend for saturation? And bro, I mean, last time when you came to Bali in 2018, you told me about a plugin which I've been using a whole bunch, which is the Black Box by Plugin Alliance.
Yeah, actually, I got the hardware because it's one of my favorite plugins that I have the chance to get the hardware. I found it in second hand here in LA, and I got it. But the plugin sounds really good. I mean, the hardware sounds amazing, but the plugin is one of my favorite plugins.
But the hardware is what, a tube? It's a tube compressor more, so a tube saturator.
Yeah, it's two tubes, two real tubes, and it's a trial and a pentode. It's the same as the plugin, but the plugin is great. I mean, I get the hardware because of the love of it. But the plugin is amazing. Yeah, so because I think that saturation is a very important plugin that some people are a bit afraid or know how to use it. So EQ. Yeah, EQ is good, but with EQ, what you're doing is you are like emphasizing frequencies that exist. But sometimes in some sounds, when you want to emphasize a frequency, that sounds mainly don't have anything on that frequency, and you can put 20 dBs of EQ, and the sound doesn't come out. And how to make new frequencies, new harmonics with saturation, with distortion. When you're saturating, you're creating frequencies that didn't exist. You're creating new harmonics. It's getting richer. And if you put EQ after the saturation, you are starting to emphasize new frequencies. And that's the way to do it. That way, saturation is very important for sounds that are important in your mix. You need to know what is important, because obviously if you put saturation, everything is going to be a mess. But if you have, okay, this sound is very important for me, the snare. This sound is very important for me, the vocal is not strong enough. This sound is very important for me, this lead sound. So you use saturation in a good way, in a creative way, in a harmonic way. In that sound, it's gonna like really pop sound. My plugins for that is definitely Black Box from Plugin Alliance. That is a bit tricky because it's a very, uncommon plugin with that like 2 rules that are so there are many tutorials about it, so do a tutorial of it. Another one I love is the tape plugins. I love the Satin from UA.
Okay.
UH.
Yeah.
Satin.
The UH Satin. Yeah.
Like Satin brings really like the sounds like pop out, and then from the Decapitator from.
I was actually I wanted to ask you about that because that's actually I've been using the Black Box, but actually a little bit more lately. I've been leaning a little bit more towards the Decapitator. I don't want to say that it sounds better. I've just been using it more for some reason.
I mean, depends. I mean, if I want to be aggressive, I go for the Decapitator. If I want to be more like subtle and control a bit more, like don't sound, because actually the Black Box doesn't sound distorted. I mean, you don't listen to any, because people say, oh, distortion, it's going to sound well, like a distortion guitar. No. Some of the time you're going, the sounds that have distortion, you don't listen to the distortion. You listen to the sound that is more present, but you don't listen to the distorted the one you really like push it. But maybe that's what you wanted. But distortion not always have to sound distorted. You're going to use the sound and it's more like presence.
I see. So those are the saturation plugins that you recommend, bro. I mean, from what you're saying, and it is the truth, man. It's not about having 1,000 different synths and all this kind of stuff. It's utilizing the right tools to get the best sound out possible, bro. So of course by EQing and saturating, that's basically how you get your tracks to sound, I don't know, good or more thick, more full. You know what I'm saying? But those to me are like, for instance, the difference between a track, like, I mean, if a track is EQ'd and saturated in the right places, it could sound day and night different than a track that's not. You know what I'm saying? Those things at the end of the day make all the difference in the world. Yeah. So as far as you've taught me shit that I didn't know today. As far as the UA plugins, the Universal Audio stuff, because I don't have that Universal Audio interface, I don't have access to those sounds. Like you need to have an interface.
I really recommend it. I mean, you can live without it, but if you are willing to do an investment, you don't need to get the I mean, I have the Apollo here, but you can get like if the producers don't have a big budget, some kids that are starting, you can get like a satellite 2, that is the one I started with, for $300 second hand or $400 second hand, and you can put the plugins on that. And then the plugins are expensive. Yeah, they're expensive, but think very well the one you are using, or check them out. Ask the producers what are they using to do the right choices. But there is definitely some plugins that are very, very good, and they don't find it like an equal on the other not UAD. That can you live without UAD? Yes, obviously. I mean, UAD. I mean, it helps, but one more time. I mean, the best records I did, I don't have UAD, and they were sounding good. So it works. It works. I mean, I use it these days, yes, and they have some very, very good plugins.
But that's cool, man. At the end of the day, look, man, people who are listening at the end of the day are people who are very, like myself as well, man, people who are very interested on how you guys sculpt your sounds, man, because at the end of the day, the production that you guys do, they sound great. Every track is mixed well. All the sounds are, the levels are right, the compressions are right, and everything sounds good. And obviously these are the tools that you're using in order to shape these sounds, bro. So, if people want to sound like you guys, this is the shit that they're gonna have to do. Yeah. Now, as far as plugins, as far as instruments are concerned, has there been one that you guys have just kind of been like using nonstop?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Moog, and I have a Voyager here, and I have the Behringer too. That sounds
I
amazing.
have the
Actually, you don't need
Behringer right here, bro.
that Behringer sounds so
Yes, it
thick.
does.
It sounds even better than the Voyager, to be honest. The Voyager came later, but the Model D is imitating the original Model D, and the Model D has more balls than the Voyager. I mean, the Voyager is a great instrument, but I recommend everybody to have one or two like hardware pieces. Why? Because with this thing, in the same way that when you are performing, when you are DJing, uh, you are just moving that you even realize what you're doing. Even when you're playing like a guitar, you are like doing movements, or you're playing like a piano. I mean, uh, you can't play an instrument with this, with the mouse. You can. You can move things around here and there, and yeah, the automation helps you to do it, to help you with that. But the creativity that you have when you're like turning knobs in real time is difficult to get with the mouse. I'm not telling you it's impossible. Nothing is
But
impossible.
it's not the same.
But for
Yeah,
me,
it's not the same.
it's the same. Even if you're not using it much, it's like a good school to then understand how a plugin works. Because when you have a Moog and you play with it, you listen to how sounds like a sine wave, like a saw wave, and they put it together, and you put a lot of tunability and you see how fun it is. Even if you are like lazy to record it, it's like an amazing lesson for when you open a plugin and you have the same elements as in the hardware. You see like an oscillator, you see an LFO, you see that you can detune it. So that's a good school for sound design. And if I have to tell you my favorite instruments in the studio, if you take my Prophet 6, I would prefer that you take one of my arms that you take Prophet 6. These sounds sound so fat and so big. These oscillators are so amazing. And then recently, I discovered that I get a Novation Peak that is amazing too. Novation Peak
The
is
peak.
the peak, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
It's probably one of the most powerful things in terms of programming that you can get, and you can get very unique sounds. And then get this like imitation from Behringer. They're so cheap and they're so good. The Model D, they have an imitation for the Core. They have an imitation even for the Prophet. You don't want to get a Prophet because
Bro,
it's
they've got
expensive.
imitations for almost everything, and
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
fucking buy
I'm
almost
sorry,
all of them.
I'm sorry for from sequential instruments, but yeah, the kids can spend like 2,000 on a scene. So, but they can spend like 250. So let them spend 250, and then they will do good music. They will get like a profit, like I did.
She. Yeah, they've come out now with the Pro One, which I saw they.
It's an imitation of the Prophet, and sounds great. So the Pro One and the Pro 5 or 4 or 6 or something. No, it's like a mono and a poly. So the
Aha.
poly, the Pro is imitating the Prophet. So you can get like a Prophet for $400 or $350. Highly recommend. And
Aha.
then if you don't want to spend, or you can spend on hardware scenes, I can recommend you like one of my favorite plugins. And that, I mean, when I don't have a Moog in the studio, there is one Moog imitation that is amazing, and not many people
The
know.
Legacy.
The Legend.
The Legend. That's what it's called.
It's called Legend. I think it's
Yes.
from Synapse Audio, or
See. I don't know who does it, but I have it too. And
Legend.
to me, it is maybe the best sounding mini Moog, or copy or
No,
whatever
yeah,
software.
it sounds really close to the original, and not only that, it does things. That's the good thing of plugins, that why to limit the plugin to what the original was doing, what to bring it to the next level. So that's what I like from plugins, because for original I have the original here,
The what?
but this legend plugin, it came with a polyphonic version, with a unison version. It have 3 oscillators that you can control like independently, not only 2, because the third one in the original was a bit limited. This is like full 3 uh, um, oscillators. And then they have a few ads that the original don't have, that they really you can make new sounds out of that you can do with a mini Moog. So if you want like a good sounding like Moog in your computer, this Legend is
The
amazing. And
Legend.
then the Monarch from Native Instrument is good, and then the one from Arturia is great too, because have like a new ads and have the arpeggiator and all that stuff. But for sound, This Legend sounds amazing. You have to try it.
I agree, guys. Guys, you've heard it from the master himself. You've heard it from a guy who's just a technical wizard, huh? Pablo, at the end of the day, can go on and on about anything technical, and to be honest with you, I could listen to this guy speak and just be like, huh,
And
whoa.
then I want to say another secret because I really don't like the high secrets, to be honest. I mean, music is for sharing. I mean, everywhere should be sharing what they're doing. That's the beautiful thing. Because I'm going to tell you my secrets that you're going to use it in a good way and you're going to do your own thing and I'll do mine and somebody will do their own. Why to keep everything for yourself like a secret, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's a mistake, to be honest. I learn from you, you learn from me, and we learn from each other. And then we all do good music together.
That's how it should be, bro. You know?
Yeah. And then I realized that because the Moog is really good for basses. I mean, nothing has more bass than a Moog. I'm telling you, nothing. From all the plugins, nothing. When I plug like a real Moog, when I play a bass note, like that came out of it is amazing. Nothing get that full bass, and the plugins that get that full bass is because they have recorded probably like a Moog, like they did in the Monarch or like they did in the Sub-Boom bass. I think they have like real Moog like recorded.
The sub-boom bass has been a favorite of mine for a bit, and you know what, bro? You know who you know who got me onto the sub-boom bass, bro?
Who?
Fucking Chus.
Yeah. No, we haven't used it for many years. Yeah,
bro, and for a while now, yeah. Now that I think about it, bro, maybe from 2010 or 11, from back then or something like that. Since it basically first came around, which I think was around then, bro, 2011, 12.
And you play it still, and they just say, "Wow, this bass is amazing." And why? Because it's a recording from a Moog. Most of the main sounds at the sub-boom bass is like a sample from Moog. Yeah. That's why it sounds so big. And then with this Legend, because it's polyphonic and you do unison, so you can get like a good lead finally from a Moog, because Moog was monophonic and was more on the bass frequencies. But with this like polyphonic and this unison that put like oscillators out of tune, and then you can pan them because you can split the sound. You can get like a good stereo sound, and you can make finally a good lead out of a Moog with this like Legend plugin.
Yeah.
Then one plugin that I love, and they have two different versions. And this I love to do like arpeggios, and it's all over the place in our productions. Is the Oberheim SEM 5.
Okay, yeah, the Arturia.
Okay, yeah, they have Arturia, but now Plugin Alliance came with their own version.
Okay.
It's called Oberhausen. That sounds even a bit better than the Arturia, and it's closer to the hardware. I would love to have the hardware, but it's very difficult to find. It was so expensive that I never get it. But this plugin is, again, polyphonic. It's like the Legend. It's like have the unison, so you can play many oscillators and notes at the same time. You can play a chord. You can split the sound in the stereo, and it sounds so big and so beautiful. It's called Oberhausen.
Oberhausen.
Yeah, all because it's called Oberheim, so they find like a
claro.
Oberhausen, and it is very similar to the SEM 5 of Arturia, the SEM. And this is an imitation of the old SEM Pro from Oberheim from 1975.
Yeah.
I'm such in love with this plugin, this Plugin Alliance Oberhausen, that I want you to play it as an instrument, like I do with my external synths. I spend like the time and the effort to do like a custom homemade controller for it. I can show you like that. This is how much I love that plugin. You wanna see how much of a freak I am. So I this. Do you see it?
Yes.
Did you see it? With I put colors because it's easy to identify with so many. I took like innovation control, and I put this like I put like tags with every control and the envelopes and everything. So what I do when I'm using this plugin, I'm playing like an instrument. I forget about the display, and I play like when you're like performing, when you're like mixing. You are playing the knobs. You're playing with this. You're moving this parameter organically. So when you are like playing a melody, you really experiment, and the movement that you can do in 2 seconds like this, it's impossible you're going to do it with the mouse.
Yeah.
So I really like encourage people to to get away of the display. The display sometimes is like it's not your friend. I mean, get away with the display. This is music. This is it's your ears.
This is why I
We're
like
not
the
painting.
hardware. Yeah.
We're not painting. We're making music for your ears. So
Sí, sí.
sometimes it's good to even the distraction of the display. Like try to get like a machine and a synth and
Get your hands on this instead of a
yeah,
mouse, bro.
or use this. I'm using from controller from Ableton the push. Forget for a second about the display and use your ears and try to make it organic and have fun with the play. Play like an instrument. Like use your. It's great.
It's unreal, dude. Pablo, mira, I'm gonna call it quits here, bro. I mean, I can go on all day long about all this shit, but then we're never gonna finish. Bro, this has been extremely insightful, bro. Sabes, you're a hell of a guy. You're a super intelligent dude, bro. You've contributed so much to the house music community around the world, bro. And what I like the most, bro, is that you and Chus have always been very cool guys. You know, you guys have always been very good to me, and I appreciate it very much for you guys always being very humble and being innovative, bro, and for kicking ass and all the good things that you guys have been doing, bro. So now I want to thank you so much. I want to wish you all the best. I can't wait to hear all the new stuff that you guys are putting out, bro. All the stuff that you guys have been working on. Now you guys are releasing, the 20 years, 80 tracks. That's unreal.
80,
80, yeah, 80. Yeah, 80.
Remix it from the classics, from the old catalog and the classics from Stereo and from Chus and Ceballos. It's a very beautiful project, and I invite everybody that to check it out on Spotify or Beatport or YouTube. It's everywhere. You can listen to in all the platforms. And from my side, Alex, thank you very much. It's something I like is when I find like passionate people that do it from the heart. And that's what are the people I like to work with and I like to speak with, and that's the people I want to be my friends. That they do it for the passion of it and from the heart, not because it's cool, not because the popularity of it is because we're music lovers. That's why that's what it is. So thank you for inviting me, and Alex, anytime, and here for whatever you want.
Thank you, Pablo. Hey, muchas gracias. Cuídate, un abrazo. Love you a million, bro, and we'll be in touch, buddy.
Definitely.
Dale, bro.
Take care.
I want to talk to you guys about Evermix. Now, Evermix is, to me, the absolute coolest, easiest, and best device there is out there that's going to help you record your DJ sets when you're out playing in a gig. The components are super easy to use, super lightweight, man. You basically have this box. The box will connect from RCA out right into the record out of the mixer. Then on the other side, you've got a cable that's going to connect directly to your smartphone. Yeah. You've got another mini USB that's going to go connected to a power source, which every DJ booth has 1,000 power plugs in the back. You launch the app that you download, and you are good to go. It really is the easiest device you're ever going to find to help you record your sets, man, no matter where you are, And the great thing, and then of course it charges your phone at the same time. There really isn't a recording device that I could recommend more for you guys, man. It really is the easiest thing in the world. You can kind of keep it all like in a little pouch, a little Ziploc bag or whatever. Take it with you and you're good to go. You're going to have the option of recording in MP3, in WAV, and once you have it there, you can easily upload it to social media, to their website, and you can do basically whatever you want with it, man. So guys want to record your sets in the easiest and best way possible, Evermix is the way to do it, huh? Today I want to get into something that hopefully can help out a lot of you guys. Maybe some of you guys have this question in your mind, but if you guys are looking for like the best kind of plugin that's going to kind of emulate a mini Moog, I think this one right here, I think is the best one that's on the market. There's a lot of them that are out right now. There's like maybe 5 or 6 different plugins right now that are emulating that whole kind of mini Moog kind of thing. And they're all super dope, they all have, their cool thing to it and this and that. But this one, I think at the end of the day is the best one. If you guys heard the conversation that we had with Pablo from Chus and Ceballos, he's been all over this plugin. He has only the best things to say about it, and I can't agree anymore. You know what I'm saying? To me, It's such a dope plugin. This is the Synapse, the Legend, by Synapse. It is so highly recommended to you guys, man. There's a lot of plugins that are out that are emulating, the whole Mini Moog thing. We've got ones from G-Force, which is this one, Mini Monster, super dope. You know what I'm saying? It sounds pretty damn close to a real Mini Moog. The thing is that I've been very fortunate where I've been able to hear these plugins and then of course use the real one, the real Mini Moog. And a lot of these plugins, man, are super close to the real deal. I can say that this one is pretty damn close, man. Guys, like I said, I highly recommend the Synapse, the Legend. But if you guys happen to have any one of these plugins I'm going to show you, they're all super badass. But if you happen to get a hands on this one I'm telling you about, it's totally worth it, man. But as you can see, this one's dope, real clear representation. Looks just like a Mini Moog. Then of course you got Arturias. I've been using the Arturia one for years, man. It sounds awesome. I love it. It's got such a really rich, warm tone to it. But as you can see, it's really cool. Check this out. This is how close they are. And then you've got ones like this. Of course, the Monarch. The Monarch's super dope too, man. Guys, drop a comment. Let me know. Which one is your favorite, man. But guys, to me, at the end of the day, the Mac Daddy one, dude, it has got to be this bad boy right here, man. Yeah, this thing is just absolutely devastating. Another one I didn't show and I can pop it up here, but is the Diva. Another super dope plugin, man, guys. I don't want to go through a whole bunch of all these shits. They're all super fucking dope, man. But I highly recommend this one for a few of the following things, man. To me, the presets that this thing has is, God, they're awesome, dude. It's got insane basses, super dope chords, leads, all this stuff, and the presets are just, they're very inspiring, man. I'm not saying to just kind of stick with presets, and not go in and tweak and stuff like that, but it gives you such an amazing jumping off point, to get some really sick sounds, man. As you can see, like, there's sounds in this thing I'm going to show you guys now that like covers all different kinds of electronic music, man. Yeah, so okay, show you guys what's up. Get some drums going on. All right. Now check out this pad, dude. It's so sick. Little kind of Eric Prydzi kind of thing going on. But like, dude, little lead thing. Now, to me, one of the best things about this thing, man, I'm gonna show you guys a bunch of different kind of sounds, dude, but it's this magic knob, dude, this drive. Just kind of like, it's kind of like a saturator, you know what I'm saying? It gives it this extra thickness, warmth, kind of pushes it forward into the mix, man. But this thing, as you can see, 3 oscillators. This thing is just, you know what I'm saying? But this got sounds like this. All right. Want to get even grimy with it. It's just some of the basses. These are just some of the ones that kind of stood out to me when I was going through it. But I've been all over this thing. Little grimy little bass again. got so many varieties of sounds, man. You know, from glitchy basses like this to thumpy basses like the other one. I thought this shit was kind of dope. This is kind of like a Giorgio Moroder kind of thing. You know, you always want like a sequence kind of like, you know, RB bass thing like that in there. You know, and then of course, dude, so many of these things. Sub basses on this thing are sick. Shit's got so much power, dude, you know. I mean, guys, I'm telling you guys, at the end of the day, this thing takes the cake, man. It really, really does. So if you guys are looking for a plugin, you know, that is kind of emulating, you know, the whole mini Moog kind of thing, something with some ball, something with some punch, guys, I cannot recommend anymore the Synapse, the Legend. Super, super dope and a total must in your arsenal, man. An absolute tool for the trade. Hope it helps you guys out, huh? And keep making those beats. What is up, everybody? I want to talk to you guys about this part of the show that I want to call They Never Get Old. And the focus of it is to talk about tracks, like I said, that never get old. You know, these are tracks that no matter where you're playing them, no matter what time of day, they're tracks that still function, man. They could be 5, 10, 15, 20 years old and they still sound relevant, you know. And one of the tracks that I want to talk about is one that was made by the guest that we had today. That one is definitely DJ Chus presents the Groove Foundation, That Feeling on Defected. Yeah, this is definitely one of the first records I heard when I was getting into house music. It was one of those records that got me, you know, from Chus and Ceballos, that got me into digging this kind of music, man. Got me hooked for life. If you guys have heard this record, you'll know that this track, even if you haven't heard this record, this track has got this wicked funky vibe, this super fresh daytime vibe, this wicked bass line, these really cool Balearic percussions. You've got the one mix in here, the Depoinente mix, that's got this really wicked guitar solo. It's just such a sweet record, man. It's got a wonderful melody, wonderful hook. The vocal is just so awesome. To me, it brings back so much memories, and it's a record that I still play it today. It still sounds awesome. You know, I play it. People still come up to me if they don't know the record, like, oh, what's that record? You know, yeah, man. So I gotta thank Chus and Ceballos for you guys hooking up, making this dope record. I know this is one of your first ones you guys did together, and yeah, man, we love it. So, guys, if you haven't heard of this record, check it out, man. DJ Chus, the Groove Foundation, That Feeling, huh? All right? Check it out.